Tonight on The Rundown. I'll break down just a messy drama happening behind the scenes regarding MTV's new gay reality series, The Real Friends of WeHo, before the show is even aired. I'll break down all the tweets, not only from one of the actual cast members, but from the Drag Race girls. And is Queen of Pop Madonna secretly planning a 40th anniversary world tour? All that and more on The Rundown with your host, Chris Avalon.
Hey, everybody. Greetings, ladies, gays, and theys. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to The Rundown, which I have to call the messiest show currently running on the internet. So basically, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, The Rundown is basically a show where I break down the juiciest headlines in entertainment. So grab yourselves a drink, a snack, a blunt, or whatever makes you nice and cozy, and let's get into this good old gig, bitch. Now, before we get into this week's tea, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button, which will, help with the algorithm. And be sure to follow all my social media platforms, which you will probably see down below momentarily. So, yeah, it's been a couple of days. Glad to see you all here. Happy New Year. I hope you all had a happy New Year. I did not go anywhere. I decided to stay home. I rang in the New Year watching the movie. I don't even know. I didn't even watch any of the New Year's things. I did watch a little bit of the Miley Cyrus thing, but you had the gays was fighting, as in, what's their name? Ryan Seacrest, another one, Miss Cohen, that messy queen. They was over here doing their little situation and bitching and moaning because they were having a Mariah I don't know her moment. Which, the white blogs and media ate that shit up. But you know what? Nobody was watching either one of y'all tired ass shows. Because I always said about Miss Cohen, until you do right by Miss Kathy Griffin, everything you think about is going to fail. So we got a lot of tea to get into today. So we're definitely going to be talking about that West Hollywood gay show, which, the gay Twitter is going off. The West Hollywood queens aren't too happy about this show. We're going to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15. I'm not going to necessarily get into the episode, but what I am going to get into is because I was actually at the red carpet premiere that was held at, oh my God, how did I forget the name of the... I completely forgot and I had the name and everything. I forgot the name of the damn hotel that it was at. But it'll probably come to me throughout the show. So yeah, it was cute. I'll tell you who I ran into. If you see my Instagram, you already know who the celebrities were that were there. And yes, one of the queens I ran into was none other than Todrick Hall. So we are going to get into that. If you've been watching the show long enough, I have been talking some things about Todrick, and we basically had that what do you call it? That moment where remember on the episode. Hold on. Because I'm actually mirroring my notes on my flat screen television. Because, some people, they got teleprompters and this, that, and the third, but I actually have a screen in front of me that I refer to in the notes. So, yeah. So you remember that moment, in the episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, where they had Coco and you had Alyssa Edwards, and Alyssa Edwards is already there because she said she was the Vanessa Williams of drag, and then Coco pops in and the looks on their face and that music that was playing, it was overdrive. That's basically what that was on the red carpet. So we're gonna get into that and a whole lot more. Plus, we got some tea on Bad Bunny, we got some tea on Lisa Rinna, we got some tea on Bautista. A lot of people did not know his mother was a lesbian. We're going to talk about that in a second. And we got some Madonna news. So definitely stay tuned for that. They said I had a tangent like a Mimi. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was very bad, child. But we're going to get into the details. But first, let's get into, we got to talk about that rape pot to Anthony Uncensored shenanigans, because it was a lot with that and Paintgate. That's what I'm calling it. So without further ado, before I wasted more time, let's get into this RuPaul's Drag Race thing. So Thursday was when they had the premiere. It was at oh my god, it begins with a C, and it's fucking, my eye is just like acting a fool right now. But anyway, so we went to, I think it was the Conrad. That's what it was. We went to the Conrad, bitch. So we went to the Conrad. I told you it was gonna come to me eventually. So we went to the Conrad, and we checked in. I got my badge. I should have brought it out so that way I could show it to y'all. Oh, speaking of which, shout out to what's Caswell. This is his hoodie. Daddy Department is his clothing line. You know, the gay rapper / DJ on West Hollywood. Caswell, this is basically his clothing line. So shout out to him. That's why I'm wearing it. So yeah, so basically, okay, so the whole RuPaul's Drag Race situation. So we got there, we set up. There was a lot of big wigs there. Them.us was there. Shout out to them. I did not know that I was like, because it's very hipster, and I noticed they do a lot of stories about people of color. And there was people of color up in that whole, you know, that works on that site. So shout out to y'all. I believe Us Weekly was there. We were sandwiched in between. Who was we next to? Oh, we was next to. Damn, what the hell is the next? See, like I should have just wrote that. I have notes, but I didn't write that down. So we had we was with a lot of people. So one of the videographers from Associated Press, that's what was next to me on my right. So the videographer, you know, I started chatting over him because the one thing I always love about the entertainment industry is that when you work with people behind the scenes, a lot of people that work within the facility, everybody's cool. Like you could talk to the reporters, you could talk to the photographers. Everybody's very engaged with each other. Santiago Felipe was there, world-renowned photographer. Very good looking. He put on some muscle, child. So he was there. We had a chat a little bit. Also, you know, there was a lot of different photographers and stuff that was there. There was a lot of, so basically on the left, there was like at least 5 photographers. And on the right, it was at least a good 6, 7 of the press that was there, the mainstream press, the creme de la creme. You wasn't seeing the Shade Room and the Hollywood Talk and all these, or Neighborhood Talk and all these other blogs. No shade to y'all, because I do live for the black tea that we get, but they weren't being invited to this drag race because you know that's okay. Well, why does this kept a lot of the black media doesn't really, in my opinion, celebrate the gay stuff. So more of the white media and stuff was doing that. So okay, so the queens came out, we took the pictures, they looked great. You know, this was their first, I guess, step and repeat. That was cute and all. Then Snooki and JWoww showed up, and I didn't even know. The funny thing was because they had an itinerary of, you know, who was actually going to be showing up on the red carpet. And my friend who was there, they were like, do you want to have the itinerary or whatever, this, that, and the third? I was like, no, because, you know, he was just going to take the pictures or whatever. Then finally, after like the 3rd time they asked, I was like, you know what, let me just get this paper. So I didn't even know who was going to be there on the step and repeat. Till I looked, child, on that 2nd page. And I saw that the cast of The Real Friends of WeHo was actually going to be there. And I was like, child, Todrick is going to be here and we're going to take this picture. So it was like, he said, so my friend was like, you're not going to, what you going to do, like hide? I said, first of all, bitch, I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn. Do you really think that run from hoes in this industry? Hell fucking no. Look, one thing people need to learn is that when you're in this industry and stuff, you're always going to run into people that you talk about. I learned that from Wendy Williams. Shout out to her. Make sure she get her life and everything together. But for the most part, you have to worry about that, you know what, these are things that you're going to be dealing with, that these are people you're going to be encountering. And it's like, stand by your shit. So Snooki and JWoww were on there. I didn't know who the other guy was with the big muscles. They one of my friends wrote his name on Instagram in the comments, but I was like, I had no idea who that was. I thought Johnny or somebody was gonna be there. Is Snooki still with him? I don't know. I don't really watch Jersey Shore anymore. I haven't watched Jersey Shore in like 6, 7 years. So I don't know where they're at in life. I know JWoww is not married anymore to Tom, I think was his name. But she was on the red carpet with her daughter. Her daughter was cute. She had like the little ballroom purple gown on, and shout out to the people that actually tagged themselves in the photo, that did her hair and makeup in the wardrobe, because I didn't know who they were. All I did was I tagged Snooki and JY in it, but their glam squad tagged themselves in my photo. So shout out to y'all. Also, so when Tyler finally got on, online, but basically on the red carpet, because I think he was I believe the first one, or I don't remember. There was somebody else that was there. First of all, everybody from that other show was not there. One of them being the person that talks shit about the actual show he's on. So we'll get into that in a moment. But for the most part, the red carpet was cute or whatever. The entire cast was there. Who else was there from Drag Race? Aquaria showed up, but by that time she showed up late, and I had left the carpet already. So once we were done with that, then the other what was it? The cast of Men of West Hollywood, the name of that damn show. Look, I'm having a hard time remembering the name of that show. Probably because it ain't gonna be on TV for long. Quiet as it's kept. So after that, basically, it was like the cast came out. Todrick got on the red carpet. He looked like he did not want to be there. He looked like he had the one and only attitude, but he posed. And then he had some people there with him, 2 white people. One of them happened to be some guy by the name of Chris Pizzicalis, who I hear is a backup dancer of his, but also his assistant. And he was there recording video footage for something I guess Todrick is doing. Maybe he's doing like his own little documentary or something for YouTube. So they were there filming video. And I don't think, from what I was looking at, because all the queens and stuff, there's one of my pictures, and you see, like, with that, he literally was looking dead at me when the photo was taken. And shout out to Todrick. I will say this. I know somebody went and posted on social media because, he did drop a new album called Jim. So it was like, stop trying to make Todrick happen. Bitch, I don't make the news. I just report it. So basically what I was doing was I was on social media promoting, if somebody's putting out music, whether I like them or not, I'm going to promote their shit. I'm going to basically bring light to whatever it is that they're doing. So, he was there. He took his pictures. He moved on. And then the other cast members came out. So the other one who was there was also, what is his name? James Vaughn was there in them little tight pants, and I can see his bulge. And basically who he is. He's married to Jonathan Bennett. And also Brad Goreski was there, because I took his picture too. And the funny thing was, Brad did talk to the press because he was right next to me. Like, after he took his pictures, whatever, he went directly to the Associated Press, because like I told y'all, the Associated Press was literally on my right. He was right next to me. Sidebar, I don't know if I should say this, but the videographer, this is funny because we actually started early. The step and repeat was supposed to be at 7 o'clock. They started it at around 6:30, 6:40. And I think it's because some of the queens were ready and they know how it is when it comes to these step and repeats. It's like they got to get a lot of photos from all the photographers that were there. And then there's the reporters that are going to ask like a shit ton of questions. And a lot of times when that happens, that kind of takes longer than expected. And so we had a screening that was that night as well. So we had to focus on and worry about that. So after that, so basically got the pictures, moved on. And then what else happened? Oh, so then they did the group cast photo with some of the Drag Race girls. All of them was not there, but we're going to get into the drama behind that show in a second. But everybody seemed to be in this little bubble at MTV on this show being like whatever, but I don't think they read the tea leaves because a lot of people was not happy with this show. But I will say this, shout out to Todrick, only because, he did like my photo that I tagged him in. That is Mistress Isabella. I love her. She is carrying this season. It was only the first episode, but she was looking good and everything. These are some of the exclusive photos that I took. Oh my God. And I don't know if you got it, but I did post. I should probably send this to you, but that was my fault because I did put it in the group chat. I don't know if you got it, but I did have a group photo of the cast of the show. I don't know if you necessarily have that, but and now as I, try to scroll through all the shit on my page, I know this is like, well, look, we live, chill. So, so overall, it was a good night. After that, so we scurried to the side. Basically what we did was, after we got all the photos and everything, we just I went to the bathroom. And then I went to go, there was a screening because I didn't even know that in this building they actually had a movie theater. But I have to say, oh yeah, Ross Matthews was there with his husband. Thank you for the photos because I'm clearly forgetting who was there. So yes, Ross Matthews was there. Carson was not there. I would have loved to have seen T.S. Madison, by the way, because she is a new addition to the show. She's a judge alongside Ross and Carson. So she's going to be a rotating judge this season. So that's great. So anyway, that was all that happened basically. And then we ran into a couple of other Drag Race girls too. Dahlia Sin was there. And, oh my God, Dahlia Sin was there out of drag. There was a couple of Drag Race girls there that were out of drag. So we went to a screening because I had no idea in this same building they actually had the Regal movie theater. So we wound up going upstairs. And the good thing with the press pass, you can go wherever you want. So I got to go upstairs. We got to see a screening. We could have had popcorn, but I was like, But then I'm regretting it because I should have probably heard the popcorn. Yeah, this is the group photo that we ended up taking. And if y'all notice, Dorion Renaud is not there. So... This is the cast that was there, but Miss Dorion was not. And then, the crazy part is that Dorion's talking a lot of shit about the show. We're going to get into that in a second. So basically, to wrap this up, after that, we stopped for a second. My friend needed to get a couple of his photos and stuff and work out some stuff with the photos so he can give the girls at night. After that, we went to the screening. We went and watched it. We only got to see the first half. So that was the one where Ariana Grande, and we got to see her as Vivacious, dressed up in the Vivacious Ornacia ensemble. And then also after that, we got to see we saw the first hour. We didn't get to see the second half. So when the queens were basically coming face to face the first time, and they had to put together the choreography for the opening number, that's where it cut off. So we had to watch the rest, with the rest of the world. So for the most part, I already knew how Ariana Grande was going to make her entrance. I already saw all that other stuff because I was there at the screening. The screening was good. After that, I was going to go to the after party. I kind of regret not going now after I found out what was at the after party. Like, I could have gotten more photos with the queens, and also the pink card that you see in the promos was there, so I could have gotten a picture with that. But for the most part, I think what had happened was I was up since 5 o'clock in the morning. I have another job that I have where I do regular paid, a regular job, and then I do entertainment stuff as well. So I'm doing 2 jobs, and I have 2 jobs. I said 2 jobs. I do 2 jobs. So I was up since 5 a.m. I had not eaten anything since 1 o'clock. I even got an alert on my watch that said that my heart rate was at 180 BPM. So there were periods where it was like, because I remember when I was talking to my roommate, he was saying, "Were you holding a breath?" I said, "I think I was." So I think my watch was telling me that I was like dying of something. But other than that, it was like I was lightheaded, I was starving, and when I'm hungry, I get hangry. So that was like, what was it? That had to have been at least a good 7-8 hours that I had not put any food in my system. So I had to pretty much I had to go. So I didn't get to go to the after party. But next time, you know what, I will learn. I mean, it's been a while since I've done the red carpet stuff. So I have to know, I got to pace myself. I got to carry snacks or whatever. The only thing I did have, I had an edible before I went. But clearly that's not enough if I'm going to be doing these red carpet stuff. So I do miss it. And the funny thing was, I had always said, I said at the beginning of the year, I said 2023, I'm going to be doing a lot more red carpet stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff within the entertainment industry. And look, already first week into January, and look where I'm at. I put something out there in the universe. I manifested it. And here we are. So now the Drag Race thing, that's what wasn't where all the drama was. Because it was it's, whatever. But there might be some drama with Drag Race because Child, Drag Race is being affected by this new damn show, The Real Friends of WeHo. So it looks like the girls is fighting before the show is even aired because one of the castmates of the upcoming gay reality show, Real Friends of WeHo, is called out the show for not being as real as they claim to be. I was trying to do Electra, which said real. I've watched enough Pose. But anyway, so before we get to the tea, excuse me, Real Friends of WeHo, for those who don't know what the show is about, we'll focus on the lives of celebrity stylist Brad Goreski, choreographer and singer Todrick Hall, actor Curtis Hamilton, CEO of Butter Skincare, Dorion Renaud, TV host and business owner James Vaughn, who, like I said earlier, is the husband of Mean Girls and Hallmark Channel actor Jonathan Bennett, and digital entrepreneur Joey Zazik. Now, according to the show's official logline, MTV's Real Friends of WeHo is an unfiltered and honest look at the select group of friends living, loving, and pursuing their passions in the West Hollywood community, consisting of some of Hollywood's most influential and successful LGBTQ plus celebrities, personalities, and entrepreneurs. This revealing and witty new ensemble docuseries provides an up-close and personal glimpse into the lives they perform in front of crowds of thousands, make high-stakes business deals, celebrate important life milestones, blah, 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 blah. Well, speaking of Renaud, he posted in his IG stories and Twitter hours after, the announcement, basically that the show ain't as real as they claim. So he says, the fake friends of WeHo. And I barely know most of these people. By the way, I live in the Valley, but tune in, thanks, at MTV. The shade, honey. So, I'm about to get to Chris Salvatore. That is a part of the story, darling. So basically, and that wasn't it. So he went on Instagram stories, but he also posted on his Twitter. He said, "Butter skin is my only real friend, LOL," and also said, "Child, I don't know these people." So he was going on Twitter and Instagram. So I'm like, that can sound ungrateful because you're actually biting the hand that basically gave you, a little check and a little exposure. Because Dorion Renaud, he's from College Hill. From back in the Disney. So now you're talking shit about a show. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good grist for my mill. I'm living for the tea. I'm living for the drama, and I'm living for the shade. Maybe this is the way also that they could use as a way for us to basically watch the show. So maybe this is a drama on his part. But look, according to social media, they looking at this show like, pay it. They don't give a fuck. Nobody's going to watch it. But we'll get to those tweets in a second because, gay Twitter went in. And I got them tweets too. So he's, and by the way, not the only one who's talking about that the show is fake. But here's the thing. I always thought that people knew that reality shows are just overproduced, improvised TV. Like, I thought that everybody pretty much knew that, what you see is not necessarily always the truth. Why did I have a Tatiana moment? What you see isn't always the truth. Remember that song? The Same Parts? I do live for that song though. But anyway, so he's not the only one that's going in on the series. The actor, model, influencer Chris Salvatore, best known for his role in the Eating Out films, took to Twitter to claim that he was fired from the show after 3 cast members that he didn't name, by the way, but we all know it has to be Todrick being at the top of that list, refused to film with him. Now here's what he tweeted. He said, "Last year, 3 gays from a certain reality show refused to film with me for having an OnlyFans, so I was fired by production after filming for only a week. That's about all I can say for now." Now, I'm wondering who the other 3 are. I'm thinking it's got to be Todrick and Brad. Now, who would be the third? Do you think it might be James? But my thing is, James is like a personality. Like, he's somebody who has like a podcast or a talk show or radio personality or something or another. I would think that, someone within that sphere, like myself, we talk to anybody. Like, I'll talk to a porn star. I'll talk to actors. I'll talk to singers. I'll talk to anybody. So I don't discriminate. Hold on. I think a lot of people are pissed also because what the tea has come out about, especially according to Deadline, that RuPaul's Drag Race will be cutting back to 1 hour so they can use the existing franchise to launch the Real Friends of WeHo. So remember, like, when you watch Drag Race, the show is from 8 to 9:30, and then we get Untucked? Well, now, the word on the curb is the show is going to be from 8 to 9. I don't know how that's going to work when you got an hour show, and basically you have 15 queens now trying to vie for screen time. And then at 9 o'clock, you basically, and we already know MTV be playing like 50,000 goddamn commercials. Trust and believe, when I be watching a challenge, I be like, God damn, why so many fucking commercials? Didn't you just come back from commercial? They live for a commercial over there, MTV. Excuse me. Yes, I said Jonathan Bennett. It does Hallmark movies as well as Mean Girls. So now the comments online were not as kind. Now here's what they said. Local Swamp Gay said, replace this with a fake reality show about the 4 gay influencers from the other 2. Now, I love the other 2. That was my show. Did they ever cancel that? I saw the first 2 seasons. Another said, Astro Boy said, why couldn't we have a show of non-famous gay friends supporting each other and trying to make it in the city? We don't need more from Todrick Hall. And I have to say that the real gag that a lot of people are doing is a lot of people are hating on the show because Todrick Hall's involved. So that seems to be the main situation, that people have a problem with the show. Another person by the name of Pat J. Rogers said, I'm sure the Real Friends of WeHo would be fine, but I do think we need a couple old queens. These young girls are boring AF. And I do agree with that there tends to be this thing in reality television that y'all think that reality TV stars should only be 18 to 30. And to me, it's like, get some old queens on there. What is the name of, there's a reality show on the internet that actually, I saw it the other day. Shout out to DJ Baker. He just did this on his show, where he basically was talking about how there was some older, there's a reality show on YouTube that has some older men up on there. And I'm like, why not incorporate older men into, or men of a certain age, some seasoned queens into these reality shows? I don't know why it's a problem. Like, y'all think that only young people have nothing to lose and unfiltered? First of all, the older you get, the more unfiltered you are. I mean, I've never had that problem. My mouth has always been unfiltered. So another person said, let's be real, all the FAGS, I was like, I don't want to get, are mad about Real Friends of WeHo because we all think we'd be perfect on such a reality show and we're sore we're not. I do agree with that, but someone responded in the comments, and I'm paraphrasing, and said, yeah, but the real reason is because we don't like Todrick. And he was like, and that too. So I watched a lot of reality TV to know that this new Real Friends of WeHo is not going to be good. I need authentic friendships with non-famous gays. And I think that seems to be the problem as well, is that people are feeling like the show is, y'all just stuck a bunch of fame-ish gays together in a reality show, but they're not real friends. They're trying to model this after the Real Housewives, but if you watch the Real Housewives, in so many ways the girls do know each other in some way or another. When I've always watched the Real Housewives, now they just throw girls together because they're desperate for cast members, but there always seems to be some type of connection with somebody. Like Garcelle knew Will Smith's first baby mama wife, Cherie, but she was boring, so they got rid of her. And everybody don't work out. So there's always some type of connection. When you watch the Jersey Housewives, they all kind of know each other because they're family, or they're related in some sort of way, or they live around in the same neighborhood. So there's always some sort of connection. When you watch the Atlanta Housewives, there's always some sort of connection. But yeah, with this show, it just seems like y'all just did a casting call and just put people together. But do I think that someone like a Todrick or someone like Brad auditioned for this? No, they were approached and were put in this. And what I believe about Chris Salvatore is that there were some discrimination. I also heard that there was another guy, you will probably said, check his Instagram because he's gorgeous. This South African, he's a singer, model, actor, Lyle Anthony was actually supposed to be on the show too. He mentioned that he was, and he apparently is not part of the show because Todrick's current assistant is his ex. So the one I mentioned earlier, Chris Pizzicalis. So there seems to be there may be some truth in, certain people trying to get on the show, but they can't because certain people are gatekeeping. And if we're going to be gatekeeping in this day and age, there's a problem. Me personally, I feel like with porn, why are we not incorporating OnlyFans models and porn stars and stuff in the reality TV world? Quiet as it's kept, when you look at the gay community, that is a part of our social circle. That's kind of our thing. We have those are our celebrities. Straight people, y'all have y'all celebrity niche, your niche celebrity markets or whatever. But when you look at the gays, we have go-go dancers, we have porn stars, we have drag queens. That's sort of our situation. It's not this stereotype of interior decorator or hairstylist or choreographer. Like, that is so dated gay stereotype. These non-threatening homosexuals that y'all want to see on TV because you're trying to push a gay show but cater it to the straight community and not to us. So maybe what the reality is, because I was talking to a friend of mine about this earlier, and they were saying that they think with this show, maybe the problem is, first of all, I don't think the show's going to last past the first season. So y'all could piggyback this off RuPaul's Drag Race all you want, but I feel like based on the consensus and mostly for the people, because my friend was telling me yesterday he was working at Heart, which is Lance Bass's club in West Hollywood, and the viewing party for Drag Race, the premiere, was co-hosted by Selena S. Titties and Sasha Colby. And so they asked, sorry, very sarcastically, are y'all gonna be tuning in? Because the commercial came on while they were watching Drag Race. Y'all gonna be tuning in and watching da-da-da? And they were kind of looking at this like, they ain't watching that shit. They were like, first of all, none of these girls is even from freaking West Hollywood. So how you gonna make a show? And my thing was this, did y'all forget we had the A-list back in the day with Austin Amakos and Rika Lemcool? That was a show I used to watch back in the day. We had that, and then we had I think there was the Austin, was it the one down south? I think it was in like Texas or something or another. They did one that lasted the season. I would have loved to have that show come back. I live for it, but y'all read that show, The Riot Act, too. But it seems to be an ongoing thing. Whenever there's a gay reality show comes out, y'all wind up hating on it. And also, we just had Men of West Hollywood on Crackle with Nick Mask, and we had Murray Swanby. That was a show. I watched a couple of episodes. It didn't really grab, I mean, I met them a few times when I was in LA, but it never really like grabbed my attention to care enough to stick around and watch it. But it was cute for what it was. I don't think it's going to get a second season, but yeah, there was that show. Whenever there's there's plenty of gay reality shows y'all can be watching, child. We'll get to those in a second. But let me read these ones from the Drag Race girls, because they mad too when they found out about the cutting back, the hour. So Candy Muse wrote, no one asked for this. Miss Vanjie put up a laugh emoji to that because Pop Cray revealed this tea. Jasmine Kennedy posted Jan, a gif of Jan saying not this, because Jan from Drag Race. Cynthia Lee Fontaine wrote, I support all queer visibility and representation. However, this is one of the couple of TV shows right now focused on entertainment and drag and cutting it. You short the time this artist deserve on the mainstream. Priorities, mis amores. Just saying. She's basically saying, like, you're cutting back on the show and you're not giving these other drag queens the opportunity to shine, because this is their only opportunity where you're going to really get to see them on TV and really show out and show themselves. So now we've got to cut back on the show because y'all have a problem with the show. But anyway, so Lonnie Love said, ooh, child, the comments. So anyway, if y'all want some shows to watch, because I'm going to tell y'all. Oh, wait. Also, let me read what Maxie Rainbow wrote, because she pretty much sums it up. These queens invest tens of thousands of dollars into going onto this show, and now their airtime is going to be cut short for what? For Todrick Hall to attempt and fail a redemption arc in his career for the 50th time? So, look, that's what the people saying. We can't ignore what the people saying. So, basically, if y'all want some YouTube shows to watch where they're showing like gay people dipping it and doing some stuff, just watch shows like Chasing Reality. Chasing Reality, they have their chasing stuff. Chasing LA, Chasing Atlanta. Definitely check those shows out. Real Hot Boys of Hollywood. They got The Come Up. There's so many other shows that you guys can be watching. And, because I'm in media, I will watch. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see what it is. And that's what it is. So Black Love said, a lot of times gay reality shows don't represent all gays, especially everyday Black gay men that are not stereotypical. And I do agree with that we don't have enough gay representation. And if you're going to show people, and another person pointed out to me earlier when I was having a conversation that in the commercial, first of all, we have 3 Black people on the show, correct? Not just Todrick. But in the trailer, that's all they're showing. They're only showing Todrick, and they're only showing Brad, and they're only showing James. Everybody else gets like these quick clips, but you pretty much see them. They get to be represented, and you get to see them because they're, I guess, because MTV thrives on big names. I'm famous. I'm famous in my own right. I'm kind of known. So that's what everybody's focusing on. But anyway, so to wrap this up, because I feel like I've just been going on and on and on about this, let's just wrap this up. I will be watching because in media, I do want to see what the tea is. I'm curious, but I already know this shit ain't gonna last. To me, I feel like if we want to see like like a show about gay friends and living life and drama and all other stuff, to me, it has to be scripted. If you're gonna do a reality show, you need to put people who genuinely or probably who actually know each other and are doing stuff in these situations, and not be giving opportunities to people who already have opportunities or a leg up. Todrick is already known in certain circles and already has a leg up because of Drag Race and so many other things. Brad Goreski has a leg up. James has a leg up. These other characters that are on the show, but what else have you done? So, good luck to y'all. Don't quit the J, y'all, because I do not see this show getting a second season, but it is what it is. And look, I already said, just because you like my photos and you see all my stuff on social media, don't necessarily mean you are exempt from the opinions of what's going on. Oh yeah, I forgot all about Brad being on Fashion Police. He was cute for what he did on that. Personally speaking, I lived for George Katsiopoulos more than I lived for Brad Goreski. He annoys me with that fucking accent. I mean, that annoys. Like, it's the over the top gayisms that he likes to do, and it's like, girl, just be yourself. I don't get that from him. The pink suit was cute that he wore on the red carpet, though. But anyway, let's get to these other topics. So let's talk about Eric Adame, the gay Spectrum News 1 meteorologist. Say that 10 times fast. Meteorologist, who was fired back in September after his employers, not employees, became aware of his sexual discretions. He's returned to social media after a 4-month absence. Now, for those of you not up to speed on his story, Adame was fired from New York 1 after his employers became aware that he was performing sexual acts while chatting with viewers on the adult website Chaturbate. Now, what Adame did not know was that his sessions were secretly being recorded, and the footage was sent anonymously not only to his employers, but to his mother. He said back then, when, the whole drama unfolded, my psychiatrist calls my actions compulsive behavior. Others would call them reckless, stupid, and brazen. I'm not in a position to argue with any of these descriptions, he says in a lengthy September Instagram post explaining what had happened. At the time, I personally felt he shouldn't have apologized. But I get it. He was playing the game because he wanted to keep, he wanted to keep his job. I mean, I don't personally think he's going to get his job back, but he was doing what he had to do to make sure that he kept a job. But at the same time, I always said, like, he wasn't at work. He was off air. So you should not be held accountable for, okay, I'm doing something in privacy in my own home, where, of course, you're saying, I want to give my location and I want you to come and do things to me and I want y'all to figure out who I am, and he's leaving clues. But, some people have their kinks and their fetishes. We're not going to slut shame him on that because, I do not slut shame. I am pro sex. I am pro anybody who's out here who wants to express themselves in a sexual way. Just like, you know what? Speaking of which, Chris Salvatore, what you need to do based on what we said about before, try out for what is that? X-Rated NYC, or not even X-Rated NYC because you're in LA. They're doing an LA edition, so try out for that one. I'm sure they're going to be not only looking for maybe they will, studio porn stars, because the gay VNs were also this past Thursday, which is crazy that we had the gay VNs and we also got some clips of the Eric Adame thing, so we're gonna get to that in a second. But we had the gay VNs, and we also had the Drag Race thing. So on the West Coast, we had the gay VNs in Vegas, and on the East Coast, we had drag queens and D-list reality stars. So shout out to all the porn stars that were, getting their awards, because I saw Boomer Banks and I saw Dante Cole and, some of the cast of, X-Rated NYC. They were there. They were winning their awards. And Max Connor won an award. You know, Dominic. There was a lot of the girls. They were all winning the awards. So shout out to y'all. But this is not about y'all. If y'all want to see who won, head over to chrisavalon.com, which you can see right up there. I have the full list of gays and theys who won, you know, their awards for dipping it and doing it like they should, yeah. So he also said, on this side, I acted out my compulsive behaviors while at home by performing on camera for other men. It was 100% consensual on both our parts. I wasn't paid for this, and it was absurd to me to think that I could keep this private. Nonetheless, my employer found out, and I was suspended and then terminated. So, you know, he basically, I know he was getting his attorneys involved, and we hadn't heard anything until New Year's Day. So I don't know if the clips basically of his Instagram post where he was talking about what he's been up to. I guess we could roll the clips so that way we'll get to it, and we'll come back with the show. Oh yeah, Kate Maddox and that huge penis, chill. He was there too. The bulge was bulging.
Let's talk about revenge porn. This is Eric Adame. He is an Emmy-nominated meteorologist in the New York State area who happens to be a gay man. Adame has performed sexually on camera for years off the clock and in the privacy of his own home, but eventually stopped appearing on webcam. An unknown person had taken screenshots of Adame while he was performing and sent these over a period of 6 months to his place of work, which is New York.
News on, bad boy? What would I see? Call me by my name.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's been a while since you've seen my face or really even heard my voice, and that's because it has been a rough couple of months for me. Of course, it was back in September when that news broke that those images had been sent to my work, to my mom, and then as a result of those images, I did lose my job at Spectrum News. Well, that news also gave what I can only call sexual predators the idea that I wanted to be exploited in any way, humiliated, and I don't want any kind of this attention that I've been receiving. What I do want is for these people to leave me alone. I'm hurt, and I wish that people would focus more on the fact that these videos exist when they shouldn't exist, as opposed to the salacious details that people have really been kind of going on and on and on about. But let me explain how this all happened. I assumed that once I closed my laptop, that anything that happened on camera would only exist in memory. But instead, those video sessions were recorded by people, and then sometimes these bots, and these bots are like scripts that automatically run on the computer or the website that record those webcam sessions and then post them on a website. And that's all done without your knowledge or permission. And many of these websites then have a download available where you can download the entire video for a fee even. That means, someone out there makes money off you doing sexual activity on camera without you even knowing. So I say this again. To all the sexual predators out there, I did not want any of these pictures or videos out there, and I don't want them shared. And I don't enjoy being humiliated and treated like a sexual object. And to everyone else, obviously, lesson learned here, but you don't need me to tell you this, that the internet is an extremely dangerous place. And anything that you put out there on the internet is going to be out there forever.
And he's absolutely right. I had to take that damn sweater off. I was like, girl, as much as, I was representing Daddy's department, the sweater is kind of hot. So I was like, ooh, I was sweating up in here, child. But anyway, so now back to the show. Shout out to Eric for that story. And yeah, you guys got to be, if you're going to be doing any kind of adult, or as Nico has said, it's called a super happy fun time, y'all just got to be aware of what y'all are out here doing, because once it's out there, it's out there. And I always thought like there were rules that you had to abide by, like with the website that he was on. I thought maybe in the list that it basically said that you cannot share or screen record and do all this stuff. But people gonna do what they want to do, and maybe that's the rule here. I don't know. I have to read the fine print, but people will do. I've noticed that people do record videos, and I've heard stories because I watch interviews with porn stars when I'm scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, whatever. There are people out there that interview adult film stars, and when they have these conversations, said that what they always have to end up. I forgot who it was, but they said that they had to hire someone to take a lot of the porn that was winding up on illegal websites off those websites. And so, it's a constant battle. So it's kind of like roaches. It's like you kill one and 10 more pop up. So it's unfortunate. You know what? As gay men, we have our kinks, we have our fetishes, and not even just gay men, but there are women whose lives have been ruined because it's like, a lot of there's, what was it? The girl that was a mechanic, she worked in a blue collar job, and she had an OnlyFans, and she wound up losing her job because of that, because she was distracting to the men. So it's just like, it's so much that it's unfortunate that, it's like, yeah, I have this job that I do, but behind the scenes, I'm a little kinky, I'm a little freaky. But I guess, I don't know, maybe New York one has a morality cause and he ain't read the fine print. And so they're going to follow behind that and be like, you know what, we could fire you just cause. Oh, wait, don't they have what is that? Is it a just cause situation? Because I know like in New York, we have this thing where they could just fire you for any, whatever, no questions asked, which I think is a bunch of BS. But for the most part, it's like, you have to be able to read the fine print and know like, okay, so if you are representing a conservative or family news outlet. Oh, and by the way, this is it hasn't all been like dark clouds and depression for him. Eric has a man. Eric's got a man at home. So yes, Eric got a man. He found him some love in a homeless place. Shout out to him and them. And you know what? Eric, good luck to you. I don't know what your future holds. I don't think you're going to get your job back in New York one. I do hope that somebody hires you somewhere. I mean, quite as we got a lot of gays in media, especially in New York. So hopefully somebody else scoops you up. Maybe you can go to Eyewitness News and stand next to, or is it still Eyewitness News, or is it just Good Morning America? Go and put him with Sam Champion. I guess it's like, you can never have too many meteorology gays. So shout out to you, Eric. I'm rooting for you, and it's unfortunate this is the way this is, but we live in a society where we just slut shaming, and the slut shamers tend to have a leg up over people who are just sexually free. But it is changing, but it's not changing fast enough. So let's move on to this rape hot chair and Paintgate. Now, I didn't write an article, I didn't prepare it, but I knew like production had put something a little together. So basically, if y'all been under a rock, because the porn gays are being messy, and that's on the black side, child. So Ray Potts did a video, a super happy fun time video. Shout out to Nico Aesthetics. He did a sex video with Anthony Uncensored, who y'all may know was on Bad Boys LA, the Zeus reality show. So the gag, it's no problem doing porn, because what else they gonna do? Like, I don't see any other reality show picking y'all up, or y'all getting that many gigs. So you might as well clap them cheeks on something. So it's no problem with laying low and spreading it wide for a check. Like I said, I am pro sex, and I'm an advocate for being a free spirit and doing what you want. And if you want to eat some coochie and some booty on social media, go ahead. As long as that check clears, do what you feel. If you can live with it, basically. So the problem isn't the sex tape. The problem was that Ray was being messy by showing Anthony painting him. Now, for those of y'all who don't know who painting is, you better ask your gay best friend. But for the most part, what it is that you do not want, for those of you who are watching this on the TikTok and all that other stuff, because I'm putting this video on there, the straights, shout out to y'all. Painting is basically when a gay man done had too much food, didn't necessarily clean, the water didn't run clear before he sat on the meat popsicle and the mudslide. or a lot of mudslide, or maybe some peanut butter got on the meat popsicle. So that's as clean as I'm gonna put it. But y'all can pretty much, I think I pretty much self-explain it without having to be so explicit with the actual graphification of the wordation. So yeah, so basically with that being said, he posted a video, but he's trying to say like he couldn't see because it was dark. Mind you, you had the whole flash of your phone on. So you did see it. I know if somebody was taking some meat in their butt, you smell it. Even if you couldn't see it, I would smell it. I've been painted on, but I didn't make a big fuss out of it. It just, the guy feels embarrassed. I feel for the bottom because back in my, my younger days, in my 20s, was it Diego Sands that painted somebody? I remember hearing another story that somebody painted, it got painted. But you know what? It's not just the black queens that paint. Painting happens. Shit happens. Hello? It happens. It shouldn't be a big deal. It's a big deal when y'all be messy. And I always try to feel for the bottoms because I know it's a moment of their face, like they're embarrassed. So it's like, you know what? First of all, Anthony dear, you should have made sure that your pipes was clean before you decided to, ride it. His pony. You should have made sure that all of that was done before you decided to do what you did. But you was drunk, you was horny. And even if y'all were drunk and horny, first of all, you shouldn't have recorded. If y'all knew that was going to happen. And he said he kind of like panned away, but then he also said that he made sure that he kept the video in case Anthony stepped out of line, which in my opinion is revenge porn. And I don't like that. You're not going to come out here and you're going to start, I would just keep this in my back pocket in case you decide to be messy. Because what that basically shows is you cannot be trusted and nobody can work with you because you're being messy. And everybody knows that if you're going to be doing any kind of adult entertainment, there needs to be some sort of professionalism, some type of decorum. So you did this to basically embarrass him. And that was unnecessary. You didn't need to, take it there and do that to him. But for the most part, it's just like I felt for Anthony. They were going back and forth. He said, I'm the most I don't give a F person you'll ever meet. I don't believe that. I do believe that he was feeling the kind of way because if he wasn't, he wouldn't have said what he said. Because if he wasn't bothered, he wouldn't have responded. And I did see that they were kind of fighting back and forth on social media. I did retweet it, but then he removed it. So we gotta do better. And Ray, you have a reputation of being messy and stuff out here. Do we have those clips? Oh, you know what also was messy? Now y'all know damn well Milan don't like Anthony. And Milan gonna be messy because he got to keep getting them beans over at Bigo, which I like to call the hood rat version of TikTok. So he needed to go over there and be messy with that and basically try to throw shade at Anthony. So it's valid why he did what he did, because when they were on the Bad Boys LA together, they were kind of beefing. Well, they weren't beefing on the show. They were kind of cool in the show. The beef more or less happened off camera because the show was filmed already. So the beef was basically happening where Milan was on Bigo talking his best, and then you had Anthony Uncensored and the other cast members who apparently didn't like Milan going at it on Instagram in their little, IG live shit where you could put like 4 or 5 people on the thing now. You can have like a little group chat. Whatever. So they was doing all of that and kind of going back and forth, and now here this thing comes. So, Milan had to keep the beans coming in because, them beans and them unicorns, they help keep the lights on so we can keep doing them videos where they just cussing people out for some beans and shit. But anyway, let's roll this clip, and then we'll come back with the rest of the show. Roll it. Hey, Sailor Mermaid. How you doing? Clip, 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 clip. I was doing Dorinda. Clip. Dorinda medley. Clip. Clip, 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 clip.
Like bends over. She just like bends over, and when she bends over, her body is shaped like this box. Like, this is how wide her back was, and then the booty was just like flat, even though she got a BBL. How do you get a BBL and your ass still flat? And then when he opened up her booty cheeks, it was so open. And y'all be saying a lot of stuff about my picture. You know what I'm saying? Because I got pictures where I show my pussy and I like show my pussy and y'all be like, damn, Milan, your hole look like it's open. But it was open. I had just got finished getting fucked before I took the pictures. Anyways, but I didn't show that. I just showed the aftermath of, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's no tea. You know, we all on the same page. I just gotta be transparent. You know what I'm saying? I had just got finished getting fucked by my nigga, Andre. His name is Andre. Oh, y'all know him. He the same nigga that was on For the Love of Bobby Lights. That as soon as the show was on and over and all of that, was still DM me, begging me to come pick him up, come talk to him. He missed me. I'm in motherfucking South America. I miss you, babe. Like, please come here. All of that. I took the day off from the empanadas. Hey, Trouble. She could have took the day off from a taco. You know what I'm saying? She could have took a day off from the motherfucking nachos fully loaded. Okay? I'm trying to figure out. Thank you, Mafia. I'm trying to figure out, you knew Ray Potts was coming over there to record you getting fucked in your asshole. Why the fuck didn't you clean your fucking pussy? Huh? Huh? Bitch, you in here, ain't you? Why the fuck you didn't clean your pussy? I'm sorry. Why didn't you clean your pussy?
Girl, I was over here cackling watching Chill. But I do agree with Sailor Mermaid. He is too damn old to be doing all of this. Like, some of these queens refuse to, well, Chill, ain't he about to be 40? I mean, if you're going to read, oh yeah, but quiet as it's kept, you know, the girls have been talking about Milan Bussy for years. Talking about, child, that shit open like the 7-Eleven. Or look like the inside of the Lincoln Tunnel. So he mad that the girl's been talking shit about his bussy hole. But you talking about Anthony? I don't know. I haven't really seen Anthony. Do his butt look like it's flat, but it's wide? I don't know, because he always assumed the same position. Like, I've been on his Twitter. So I don't know. Look, I don't be investigating y'all booty holes like that. But you know what, Milan, you a damn mess. And you a cackle. I did cackle at that. So I got to give it to you. But anyway, good luck to y'all. Ray, stop being damn messy. The revenge porn shit, like, if I was, like, look, no shade, but if I was Anthony, what I would have did was I would have went to the damn courts and filed some damn charges against your ass for doing that, for doing some damn revenge porn on me. It's like, you're not going to do videos with someone and then have leverage on them in case they say something that you don't like. Like, what year are we in? 2023? Can we go into 2023 being better, the better selves that we were? You know, can we be stronger than yesterday? It's nothing but in my way. I'm not gonna do Britney. But anyway, yes, we need to try to be, every day we wake up, let's try to be better than the day we were before. Let's be a better version of ourselves. So shout out to y'all. And if y'all gonna be messy, I'm gonna keep talking about it. So whatever. So now let's move on, child. And let's talk about this Miss Lisa Rinna story. So Lisa Rinna, they keep saying that she mutually left. However, I'm going to stick by what the fuck I said and say that Lisa Rinna has been fired. So it looks like the fans finally got their wish, as it's been reported that Lisa Rinna is leaving the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after 8 seasons. Now, shout out to people for this exclusive story because she spoke to them exclusively, so I gotta shout them out. She said, "This is the longest job I've held in my 35-year career, and I'm grateful to everyone at Bravo and all those involved in the series," Rinna, 59, says in the statement. "It has been a fun 8-year run, and I'm excited for what is to come." Now, the decision was made as Rinna's contract expired at the end of last season. After weighing her options and business obligations, she and Bravo mutually decided that she would not return to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, Rinna joined the franchise in its 5th season, which premiered in 2014. Now, in her debut season, the actress was involved in one of the show's most memorable fights when she hurled the wine glass at then co-star Kim Richards, who alluded Rinna didn't want something to get out about her husband, Harry Hamlin. And I'm sure you know what that something is, if you know what I'm saying. And how you doing? Think you do. Anyway, so the Days of Our Lives alum has also become known as for her Own It Baby catchphrase, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Nobody is surprised by this damn exit. She did say she's a cockroach can't get rid of. People were not feeling her, especially last season. She was doing a lot of real shady, vile shit. Nobody wanted her on the show. Kathy Hilton gave Bravo an ultimatum because she knew how to leverage her hand. And basically what the leverage was, she was like, y'all been trying to get me on this show since season 1. Basically, Andy Cohen wanted Kim, Kyle, and Kathy on the show at the same time. Kathy Hilton refused to be on the show until like 2 seasons ago. But still, she wound up getting $2 million for just being a friend of. And I heard that Lisa Rinna wanted to make $2 million an episode as well. And I know that Bravo people looked at her like, Miss Lips, you are out of your goddamn mind. So we do not buy the fact that you are even worth that kind of money. Plus, she was being problematic. Like, she was going on saying all kinds of stuff. She was alluding to a lot of things that was going on with Kathy, saying that she was using homophobic slurs, she was being racist, she was doing all these other things. First of all, if it wasn't me personally, if it's not on camera, if I didn't hear it, if we can't see it, if the cameras and the mics didn't catch it, it didn't happen. So it's your word against Erica, who I don't believe either, because she's a mess. She calls her a pretty mess. No, you a hot ass mess. So I don't know how this is going to work now because her road dog is not there no more. So what are they going to do? I do feel like maybe what they should do is bring Brandy Glanville back. It'll be interesting to see who they bring back. I don't think Diana's coming back. I think the lit liquor is done. She ain't coming back. She's done. I know a lot of people was pissed. Oh, speaking of which, shout out to Lisa Vanderpump. So Lisa Vanderpump, when she found out that Lisa Rinna, because remember, if you watched the season, the reunion, Kathy was like, you drove Lisa Rinna off the show. Because, you know, they had that drama where she no longer speaks to Kyle because Kyle decides to put the wrong people over her actual friends. But the bitch is dizzy and stupid, so she's always done that. So Lisa Vanderpump, LVP, put Ding Dong as her response on Twitter. As in, you know, the infamous, or is it infamous or is it famous? We'll go with infamous. The infamous song from The Wizard of Oz, Ding Dong, the Wicked Witch is Dead, which I thought was hilarious. But Vile Kyle decided to stick her 2 cents in it, which I'm hoping that Lisa didn't respond. I don't know, because I don't go through the threads, but I hope she didn't respond to it. It's like, girl, I don't even know you. Like, have a I don't know her moment. Pay her dust. She was like, oh, you could have spoke on something like Vivienne Westwood, but you're going to speak on this? First of all, why is she having to speak on Vivienne Westwood? Shout out to her, because, you know, she was one of my favorite fashion designers. May she rest in peace. Why did she need to speak on Vivienne Westwood? And you're, first of all, number one, why are you telling me who the fuck I can and cannot tweet about? If I want to talk about this heifer, who done said a whole lot of stuff about me that wasn't true on a TV show, you best believe I'm going to say what the F I want to say, whether you like it or not. We're not friends. You don't, and even if you was my friend, you don't get to tell me what I can and cannot say. I'm an adult. So, Lisa, saying what she said about Lisa Rinna, I'm here for it. But Kyle, mind your business. Because what you need to do is figure out when y'all start shooting this new season, who you're going to be aligned with. Because if y'all was seeing them pictures on social media of Kathy Hilton and who she had at her recent celebration, she did not have Kyle there, but Garcelle was there, Sutton was there, Kris Jenner was there. There was a lot of her daughters did say she's got an announcement to make next month. It's either she's pregnant or she's going to be on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And you know, if she's on there, that's going to be iconic. That she'll be a part of the show. I'm not going to say anything about that performance of Stars of Blind that she did with Miley Cyrus and Sia. I'm gonna be nice. Because Cheryl, I was like, found the note when she got up there and started singing. But anyway, so yeah, she was just problematic. Like, Lisa has gone on social media. She's done a lot of stuff on Twitter, said a lot of crazy things behind the scenes, the bullying and all that other stuff. You were making it way bigger than what it was on the show. So my thing is, when you start doing all of that, you got to go. I cannot have you on this show where you've made the show unpleasant to watch. And I felt like the writing was on the wall when word on the curb was she wasn't even invited to BravoCon. She showed up as a +1. But then she came out on stage and she got booed. So if all of this is happening, it's kind of stating like, you know what? The fans said what they said. They don't want her there. The only one who was clueless is that dingbat Michael Rappaport, who, number one, can't tell a Louboutin from a Manolo Blahnik. I'm not saying straight people need to know that, but if you're going to try to use that analogy, you need to know your shoe. Manolo Blahniks do not have red bottoms. That's a Louboutin, boo. So if you're going to know your shit, maybe you need to give your girl SJP a call. Or maybe give Andy Cohen a call since he know her. I don't think he knows SJP like that. But anyway, if you're going to use pump analogies, know your shit. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, so he was the only one that was like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They got rid of Rinna and this, that, and the third. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, most of the fans didn't even want her ass there. And a lot of people weren't even surprised. So she's got to go. Oh, who knows? Maybe they'll bring her back in a year or two. We'll see if they decide that. But I do think that they kind of like, they probably gave some shitty contract. She was like, I'm not coming back for this little bit of money. We're going to give you like $50,000 or something. I don't know. But it's whatever. So here's the thing. Good luck to you, Lisa Rinna. I don't know what you're going to be able to do after this. I guess you'll sell your little products. You're not going to be able to promote on the show. But I guess you could just sell your little products and go about your merry way. Because I don't see, like, are there any soap operas left that you could get on? I don't think so. And I don't see a lot of people wanting to work with you because you're too damn messy. I mean, unless they have, oh, you know what would have been a good show she could have went on? Didn't they have that little military, that SEAL team show that I saw Kenya Moore is on? They got some military reality show that I think is on Fox. Maybe she could have tried that if they get a season 2 or something. Or maybe go on Worst Cooks in America or something like that. Like, unless she's been on that already. Or go back to Hawking Your Depends. Now, speaking of women of a certain age that has, been accused by a lot of being messy, but she has every right to, because she's an icon in the pop universe. So the word on the street, the deep, deep streets, the not so secret streets, Madonna might be going on a tour this year. So after the success of her remix album, finally, Enough Love, 50 number ones, now word on the street, as I stated earlier, is that Madonna may be secretly planning a 40th anniversary tour. Well, apparently ain't a secret no more because everybody's talking about it. The tour is set to kick off this year to commemorate the 40th anniversary release of her debut album. Now, while many were speculating that she would be releasing a follow-up to Madam X, the Queen of Pop as of late has been far more interested in finding unconventional ways to release her music instead of the standard way that records have been constructed. Here's what she said to Variety. I'm just looking for interesting, fun ways to re-release my catalog and introduce my music to a new generation. I'm focused on that. I want to go on tour again. I'm a creature of the stage. That is my happy place. And I know that the older generation, Gen X, my generation and older, are mad because Madonna has been embracing hip-hop and that sort of thing. But y'all seem to forget, when Madonna came up in the 80s, 84 to be exact, when she broke through, a lot of her music was based in the hip hop and the dance clubs. People initially thought in the beginning of her career she was a black girl until they saw what she looked like, because her music was very much influenced by the New York urban music scene. So people need to do their homework. Madonna did not start out doing Confessions on a Dance Floor. Confessions on a Dance Floor is not her debut album. Her debut album is named Madonna. Subtitled. So a lot of those influences where she worked with people like Jelly Bean Benitez and a lot of, that whole, it was like that pop, that R&B, hip hop, freestyle, a lot of that vibe that was going on in New York. It's like people have short-term memories, or maybe they're just not educated. But that's always kind of been Madonna's vibe. So when she does things like when she did the Hard Candy and now back that up to the beat is actually, I was listening to that song literally before we started the show. That song was like stuck in my head. Do we? It's like that song has just been in my head all day. It's catchy. It should have came out years ago. I think it was supposed to be on, was it the Hard Candy or the Rebel Heart album? It does sound like a song that was recorded back in the Hard Candy days, but I think it was supposed to be for the Rebel Heart album. And then some stuff happened. It just didn't make the cut. I guess it didn't fit in with what they were doing. And it didn't come out until now. And it's funny how like she's having this resurgence with her career and the older queens have a problem with it. So it's like, look, TikTok has basically embraced her and she's got this new lease on a musical life because of TikTok. So the younger kids are discovering her stuff, and shout out to them because there was also a video I posted on my Instagram of them, like a bunch of like the younger generation, they're reacting to her American Life video, the Uncensored one, which I absolutely loved back in the day. And I remember they banned it because of the whole thing with the Iraq war, but that video was everything. I live for that video. I'm hoping that it's a resurgence on that now because I feel like people have relaxed and calmed down. So that video is pretty tame compared to what we had to deal with back in the day. So the choreography she was given, the fashions and all that other stuff, it was just a great video. So I just love how the generation was watching, they totally got what she was trying to bring forth. But anyway, let's focus on this because I'm sure she'll be performing American Life, which was, I believe, a hit. She'll be performing it on this tour. So, she also, well, the word on the street is according to the Daily Mail. We need to point this out. She already has dates booked at London's O2 Arena. Now, my thing is this. Madonna, everybody knows that Madonna has never been one to look back and perform her hits on tour, as she tends to incorporate a mixture of her classics, current album hits, and non-single tracks into her live performances. However, with her career resurgence thanks to fans, remixing, embracing the remixes of her classic hits, like Frozen, Hung Up, and most recently, like I stated, back that up to the beat. I can see why she's actually embracing the idea of wanting to do a greatest hits tour. And there was some footage that came out back in October, I believe, of her basically, it was with Jamie King, who has been her tour director since the Drowned World Tour. And they were looking over some stuff, some blueprints, I guess, on how to set up the stage and this, that, and the third. So she's basically looking at a way of, I'm ready to go back out there and I'm ready to perform and I'm ready to go out on tour, which I'm here for. I'm definitely here for Madonna, basically going back on tour again. So I haven't seen her on tour since the Confessions tour. But 2023, I'm gonna be broke. You know how many people was putting out a tour this year? Janet has a tour starting in, I believe, April. Beyonce has a tour coming, but she hasn't even announced the Renaissance tour. And now we got the Queen of Pop. But more than likely, if she's going to go on tour, it's going to happen like around, I think, in the fall. I believe it's going to be at the end of the year, which would make sense. Because summer, like, we all know Madonna needs, as anybody, she likes to take her time when putting these tours together. So it's at least a good 2-3 month rehearsal before they go on tour. So shout out to Madonna. I'm definitely looking forward to this tour. And I think it's justified because you know what? But here's the thing. What I've also heard is that because people think she's in the studio recording new music, she's actually recording remixes, I believe, for a lot of her hit songs that she's going to be performing on the tour. So if she's going to do that, I'm here for it because we all know Madonna's one to remix a lot of her hits when it comes to the whole, like when she's on stage and she's performing, she always does different versions. The one gripe I always have about Janet is Janet will do the same Pleasure Principle version, the same Pleasure Principle choreography. And it's like, girl, can you like get down, flip it, and reverse it? Like, can you give me a whole new version of this? So sometimes I don't like when the girls be doing the same damn version over and over, except if it's one of those songs that's just so perfect that, you know, we just need to keep it as is. But you know how many different versions of La Isla Bonita there is out there? That I've loved every version that she has performed on the tour, even the Gypsy version. Layla, 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 Galagute. You know, that's like one of my favorite songs. My favorite versions. That's from the Sticky and Sweet tour, by the way. So Robert says, before we go and take this good old break, a friend of mine who works at A&R hints Ray of Light 25, Hard Candy 15, American Life 20, and Madonna 40. God damn, there's a lot of numbers in that chair. Are expected reissues and digital singles. I think the original video comes out as well. But that be of The Gambler, or are we talking about the original video of like the very first video she put out? But anyway, so shout out to Madonna. You know, I'm excited. The icons are basically giving the children what they need, because you new generation hoes, y'all are kind of boring. Y'all not giving what needs to be given. But anyway, that's why they gravitate into the old queens. And shout out to the fans of Celine Dion who showed out shady ass, trash ass Rolling Stone would not even include her as one of the best singers of all time. Y'all could burn that list at the stake. I thought about going in on it. Oh, yeah, I love the American Life video. I thought about going in on it, but y'all, look, that child that said all they need to say, it's on my Instagram. But anyway, let's go take this break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Dave Bautista. Somebody, he had a tattoo removed of some homophobic person that he admired. We have to definitely talk about this Edwin Chiloba, who basically is an LGBTQ activist. He was murdered. He was found stuffed in a metal box in Kenya. We definitely need to talk about that because, you know, with so much going on with the gays, we definitely need to be talking about like what's going on in other countries, and people who are trying to stand up for who they are being killed. We're going to talk about Bad Bunny throwing a fan's phone. Was he in the right? And a certain Stranger Things actor has come out as, how you doing? So go ahead, grab your little snacks, refresh your little drinky drinks, and we'll be right back with more of the rundown with me.
Welcome to Drinks and Drag, the only show where you get the tea with no chaser. With the cast that's bold and bright like none other, filled with fun and drag, fun games, and lots of laughs. I'm not joking. Take a look at what we got. This is Drinks and Drag.
So, Wendy, you need to get your life. Dust your wig off. Come back and do what you need to do if this is bothering you.
Dust your wig off. SD Lewis said, Wendy is not physically well still, and rumor is she's trying to fight back more of what she currently is supposed to get. Look, I don't know. Honestly, like, whenever we have these conversations about Wendy, it's like, I don't even know what to think anymore. And I've said this many times when I've had comments, when I've been posting things about Wendy and stuff on my Facebook, and then people in the comments, oh, I'm waiting to hear from her now. And I'm like, you're not going to, because Wendy has always been the person that will tell everybody's business and get paid lovely for it, but won't talk about her own shit whenever she becomes the hot topic. And it's like, you cannot
I feel
pick
like
and
that's such a
cherry.
Remy move. Remy's like,
how dare you? Who are you? No, wait, no. Sorry.
There was a topic that came out because we didn't do a show last week because we did the Valentine's episode, and Lindsay was like, "Oh, I." Oh no!
oh my god!
Not Cassie.
Not Cassie.
Dang! What?
Oh, he is shady tonight. That was funny.
That was funny. That
being a celebrity.
With the resident Papi Chulo, Remy. Come get your face beat by the one and only drag beauty queen, Lindsay Aguilera. And the one and only troublemaker himself, Chris Avalon.
So make sure that you follow us on all our social medias at Drinks and Drag Show. And stay tuned for a new season and so much more coming your way. And we can't wait.
Damaged dull, broken hair with no bounce or shine. Bring your hair back to life with Joe Oz Paradise Hair Care Products. Joe Oz is fortified with all natural ingredients that will give you that growth, shine, body, and fullness that your hair needs. Known to improve any type of hair in any style and bring it back to life. Joe Oz Paradise will never let you down. Joe Oz Paradise, our products were made to deliver.
Hi. Oh, look, we're back. That was so funny because Robert was over here talking about, oh, she just dropped the Impossible Remixes album, and I was looking for it on my Apple Music because I don't do Spotify that channel. So I was looking for the Apple Music, and I'm like, the show's on. But anyway, welcome back to the show. For those of you who are just now tuning in, hello. For those of you who stuck around, welcome back. I need a little refresher, a little spritzing before I came back on this good old camera. But yeah, down below, please please like and subscribe. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, do all those things, and you know. Okay, we take some of these thingy-jigs up on here. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of pop-ups and stuff. Pharrell just announced a Janet Jackson version. Oh yeah, she originally Janet Jackson that song was originally a Janet Jackson song. You know, there was a whole video that y'all can watch on YouTube. I forget the damn girl name. I should have, if I would have known, I was gonna talk about it. But there's a lot of songs that I think people don't realize is that get around to other people before it ends up sung by the person that's gonna sing it. Or ends up singing it. There's so many songs that originally belonged to some girl, Rihanna singing it. There's, you know, it's gone through so many people. I forget what the song was that they said. that was originally meant. Oh, it's Toxic. I think Toxic was originally supposed to be a Kylie Minogue song, and I believe Britney wound up getting it. Well, I believe she did. So things will always happen like this. Songs are intentionally meant for another artist. The artist turns it down, then they give it to the next person. It's like that's how songs are pretty much given out. I know there's like this big shame of people who take issue with oh, if you didn't write the song, you're not an artist. My thing is, I got a good ear for music. And if a song is perfect the way it is, I'm going to sing that shit. It's all about selling the song, selling the product. Because there's so many people out here who can write stuff and it don't resonate. So if you got a good ear for music and somebody has a really good song and you feel like it fits for you, sing it. Don't give a damn what don't give two issues what these people have to say about what it is that you do. Exactly. So now let's move on and talk about Dave Bautista, because shout out to him. You know, I have to say, out of many of the actors that are going in the industry, like, you know, wrestlers turn actors. We have Dwayne Johnson, we got Dave Bautista, and we have John Cena. Those are the top three, correct? Dave Bautista, to me, has been the one out of all three of them. You know, they all have their little niche. He's the only one that, to me, has come across more like a character actor, where he takes acting very seriously. And I really feel like he's really stepped it up as an actor. And I know a lot of people feel kind of ways because of certain things that he said, and they felt he was being shady. However, it's like, you know what? I'm putting a lot of work and effort into it. Like recently he said, I don't want to be Dwayne Johnson. I'm paraphrasing. I want to be a good effing actor. That's what he said. He was mad. Why? Y'all really thought he was stretching and giving Shakespeare in Black Adam? Because if he was, y'all would have went to go see it. But the script was terrible. And now Black Panther 2 ain't happening. I'm sure, I don't know if y'all read the Hollywood Reporter or Variety, one of them, did a full expose on like how Dwayne Johnson went around and did all these certain things to try to get a movie between him and Henry Cavill's Superman. It's a whole situation with that. Definitely read that article. It's interesting. How he went over Walter Hamada's head and went directly to David Zaslav. There's a whole situation. Just go ahead and read that article if y'all can. Not now. Just watch this video first, then read it. But anyway, so out of all the actors, to me, I love Dave Bautista. Like, to me, I loved him in the zombie movie that he did with Zack Snyder that's on Netflix. The name escapes me. I love his role in Dune. I love his small role in Blade Runner 2049. I cannot wait to see him in this new movie that he's got coming out called A Knock at the Cabin, which is actually a movie where it's him and three other people. One of them is Ron Weasley from Harry Potter. And they go to this cabin in the woods, and a gay couple is actually renting out the cabin with their adopted daughter. And they invade the house, and they tell them that one of them has to commit an act where they have to sacrifice, I guess, the family members or whatever. Otherwise, the apocalypse is going to destroy the world, something or another. It's a really good concept. I cannot wait to see this damn movie. But in my opinion, Dave Bautista. Okay, so it was Variety. Thank you. Dave Bautista, in my opinion, is the one who has really taken this acting thing seriously. I loved him in Blade Runner 2049, even though his role was small. And he even says in this film, he says it really was a challenge for him, this Knock at the Cabin, because he said this is the most dialogue he's ever been given. I have not seen Glass Onion yet. Do not kill me. Don't throw tomatoes. I do plan on getting around to Glass Onion. I've been trying to watch this movie since it first came out, but I kept it just, I don't know, other things kept popping up, so I kept putting it on the back burner. But I'm definitely going to check out the Glass Onion because I definitely want to see it. I love me some Dave Bautista. But anyway, so I saw this movie. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this Knock at the Cabin film because he said also this is the most dialogue he's ever been given in a movie, and they were using single cameras. So it was a whole different type of vibe. And I know some people say, oh, he's only as good as the director he's being around. If a director is willing to take someone who has a limited ability and really push them and stretch and be like, you know what, I see potential, and you go ahead and do that, then by all means do that. I hate when there are people out here, pundits and whatever, that want to limit someone's abilities if you've never stepped foot in an acting class, which I've done many of that. And I'm actually going to go back to that class. I haven't told many people, but I'm going to get back into it. But anyway, so the story we're going to get to, because, I had to go on this whole tangent about how much I love Dave Bautista. And how proud I've become of him that he has grown as an actor. I know he also said some shit about Guardians of the Galaxy, that he hated putting on all that damn makeup. He's starting to sound a little bit like Jennifer Lawrence with the Mystique makeup, but I get it. The hours you got to spend doing that, and basically you're not even stretching me as an actor. What you're doing is you basically turned me into some laughing stock because you found out that I'm pretty funny. So that's all I do is I deliver stupid little one-liners, and I have to sit in, in a chair for 8 hours with all this makeup just to be throwing stupid one-liners. So I totally get it. Like, you didn't even evolve his Drax character. Because in the first film which I watched not too long ago, you really pushed him and stretched him. And, he was doing like the more serious stuff. Then as the films went on, you made him more of the comedy relief. So I get his frustration. It was like he feels like doing a Marvel movie, he's not growing. It's funny how many people weren't upset with him saying that, which I was mad at Zoe Saldana. That's a whole other conversation. So with this story, what made me love Dave Bautista even more, and I knew about this because I heard about this back in 2016. He has been an ally of the LGBTQ community, and that's because his mother is a lesbian. And I remember he told this story to TMZ a couple of years ago. That's how I always remember that. And ever since then, I've been a fan. And this is back when Manny Pacquiao said what he said about the gays. So let's get into that. So although he did not mention his former friend by name, because he said he had a tattoo covered up because he learned his friend, boxer Manny Pacquiao, was an extreme homophobe. Now, the Glass Onion star, who's 53, revealed to GQ that he had a tattoo of Filipino boxing champ Manny Pacquiao's team logo removed from his left forearm. Said, "It used to be a team logo. It was part of a team of a person I considered a friend and someone I really looked up to. And then he later came out publicly with some anti-gay statements and turned out to be an extreme homophobe. So I had a huge issue with it. It's a personal issue with me. My mom's a lesbian and I just could no longer call him a friend. So I had it covered up with this." And he basically showed an updated ink of a woman with a sugar skull face painting, which we are showing you the photo on the screen. So Pacquiao, who was 44, faced heavy backlash after stating that gay people are worse than animals during a 2016 interview on Filipino station TV5, saying it's common sense. The animals are better. They know how to distinguish male from female. Pacquiao added, "If we approve of male on male, female on female, then man is worse than animals." Now, Bautista has long been an LGBTQ ally, called Pacquiao an effing idiot at the time, and said, "You can't come back from that, man. There's no coming back from that." And he said, "Anyone call my mother an animal, I'm sticking my foot in their ass." And I'm here for it. Here's the thing. So animals know how to distinguish. Aren't they gay animals? Am I confused? Because gay monkeys exist. We've seen many. If you ever been to a zoo, there do be some homosexuality that goes on. So Manny Pacquiao, clearly you must got some CTE, or you've been hit upside your head too many goddamn times, because your brain has been rattled if you really think that animals are only heterosexual. But other than that, shout out to Dave Bautista for being an ally, for sticking up for people. And you know what? People tend to look at a Dave Bautista as someone who you would think that because of his exterior and his overall look, that he would be a homophobe, he would be a bully, this and that. But he's like a big cuddly teddy bear. That's what he gives me. He's like big and cuddly, and just, he looks scary on the outside, but he's warm and fuzzy on the inside, as most people are that are of his ilk. But, I love the fact that we have someone who's an ally, who's very much pro-LGBT, and is like, I don't give a fuck what people say. He carved a path for himself in Hollywood that is distinguished from, the Dwayne Johnsons and all the stuff. You have John Cena, who's more of the comedic. He's gone more of the comedic route with his stuff, which let him stick with that. Dwayne Johnson, yeah, he's a big movie action star, but at his age, and he's in his 50s, that's going to get old after a while. Like, you kind of have to look at other options. And I really feel like, Dwayne, you may need to start taking acting classes again. I don't even know if you ever have. But it may be time to kind of dust off them acting chops, because you trying to play the same character in every movie, it's getting a little old, it's getting a little stale. showing and get diminishing box office numbers. So Dave Bautista, in my opinion, I think is onto something where he's like, you know what? Even though I'm like this big giant guy and you could easily stick me in an action movie, my situation is I want to be taken seriously as an actor. So I'm taking the craft seriously and I want to play these different roles. And there's no one way to look. So shout out to him. I'm here for you. And I guess that's all on that topic. So let's give a shout out to, because there's a lot of crazy stuff. Like you out here referring people to animals, and then we got this shit. So Kenyan police are looking into the death of LGBTQ plus activist, fashion designer, and model Edwin Chiloba, whose body was discovered stuffed in a metal box on the side of the road in Kenya that has sparked national outrage. Now, shout out to CBS News for this story. The body of Edwin Chiloba was found on Wednesday on a road in Uasin Gishu County. I hope I said that correct. If I didn't, I apologize. In the west of the county. People say a motorcycle taxi operator reported seeing a box being dumped by a vehicle with no license plates. The rider reported the incident to police officers who were manning a nearby roadblock. Officers who opened the box found the decomposing body of a man who they described as wearing women's clothes. The deceased was identified as Chiloba, and his body was taken to the Moy Teaching and Referral Hospital to establish the cause of death. Police spokesperson Rizila Onyango said the motive was not you one better. It was a hate crime. Especially if you're dealing with killing gay people in Kenya. I mean, I don't know. And we were just talking, Robert and I were just talking about this whole thing about Madonna's being investigated along with her son David Banza in Malawi. Apparently they're saying, like, I guess she's not a good mother, this and the third. Now, what I did say to compare the conversation is that if y'all have seen, David Banner does walk around in dresses. I have seen him wear dresses and stuff. Do I think he's gay? I don't know. I'm not thinking about sexualizing no damn teenage boy. However, wearing dresses does not automatically mean that you're gay. There's sometimes, I think David Banner is a lot like Madonna in a lot of ways, even though she gave a birth. Meaning, he likes to stir the pot and be controversial and be free. He's a free spirit. And I don't think, it's funny, like when black kids are out here being free spirits, I want to call them weird. Y'all said the same shit about Will and Jada's kids, Willow and Jaden. Calling them weird. Say what you want, but they being themselves. And I'd rather you be yourself than have to be some fake thing to satisfy a bunch of people that you don't know. So they said, we don't know for now why he was killed that way. Experts are handling the matter. Now, Chiloba was a known LGBTQ activist, fashion designer, and model, and had in the past been attacked and assaulted for his activism. His friend Dennis Nzoka tweeted on Wednesday. Now, in December, in an Instagram post, Chiloba says his efforts were about inclusion, and if I'm going to fight, then I have to be for what I have been marginalized for. I'm going to fight for all marginalized people. Now, LGBTQ people living in Kenya have also described discrimination and attacks in a country where sex between men is illegal. Now, Kenya is largely a conservative society, and the president has in the past said that gay rights are a non-issue in the East African country. Now, in an Instagram post, Kenyan LGBTQ rights organization, The Commission, mourned Chiloba, who was a fashion designer model, as a loved and valued member of his community who used the platforms available for him to fight for what was right. Now, the group said the loathsome act was a major blow to the country's LGBTIQ community, and the callous way his body was discarded makes the situation all the more mortifying, adding that Chiloba's killing served as a reminder that queer bodies continue to be under attack all over the country. Now, rest in peace to Edwin. He was very vocal in who he was, and it's unfortunate that they're trying to make an example of him. But I will say this. I know it's easier for me to say it because I'm in the U.S. and they don't go, we do get, people do get hit and abused for being gay. However, I don't think it's the extreme of this. This reminds me similar to, like, in a way, Matthew Shepard, the way they discarded his body and he became like this big national symbol that we continuously talk about. And we need to do that same for our Black LGBT people. We need to hold them as symbols as well, and not only hold the white ones. So there's someone who was not even South Africa. I was in South Africa, Kenya, and was basically out here trying to make a difference for the LGBTQ community. And people need to realize it's like, you know what? There are people out here who are LGBTQ that don't have it as easy as some of us do in a lot of our liberal countries and cities and things. So my heart definitely goes out to Edwin and his friends and his family. And we definitely have to continue to fight this good fight. You know, since he, was taken, I hope that it doesn't scurry people who are in Kenya or any part of Africa that is pretty much like they don't give a damn about gay bodies. Because I don't honestly think this could have been a sex setup, where, I don't know if they got Grindr out there. I'm sure it's international in certain places, but this could have been a setup because I've heard stories about like when you go to certain countries that being gay is illegal. There are like the Grindr apps and stuff, and they set you out to be like, okay, let's meet. Because someone I met that I lived with briefly told me that there was a thing. I think he was in Egypt or something, and someone did that to him. That it was like he went on Grindr, he was going to meet up with someone, but there was a story that goes around where it's like the police or somebody, they extort you or they kill you. And so he got suspicious, and what they do is like they threaten to tell your parents. Your parents are going to ostracize, because in Muslim countries there's sort of like, you're no son of mine, this, that, and the third. But luckily with him, his parents were okay with him being gay, but he left the country and he was seeking asylum in America. So there's a lot of these things that goes on that I think people don't really look at or understand that goes on outside of, this American bubble. But we need to give attention to, our LGBTQ brothers and sisters, international LGBTQ brothers and sisters. Well, I was hoping that basically everybody who's watching the show could read it. But if you are someone who knows is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. So yeah, do that. Okay, so now we go from Africa, child. We go from there to the Dominican Republic, because Bad Bunny out here throwing people phones and things. So Bad Bunny is not backing down from throwing an intrusive fan's phone into the water and has gone on record to say he'll do it again. Now, Bad Bunny was one of the biggest artists of 2022. The star broke many records with his massive album, Un Verano Sin Ti, which was quite literally the most popular album of last year. However, due to the skyrocketing levels of his fame, he has to deal with many problems, from his concert goers getting scammed to his fans bothering him with selfie requests. Now, unfortunately, the performer has found himself in a storm of backlash after a controversial clip began circulating on social media. Now, in the video, while visiting the Dominican Republic, a fan is trying to take selfies with him as he's walking. Bad Bunny was displeased by the fans' forcefulness, so he reacts by taking the phone from the fans' hands and throwing it in the nearby bushes. I don't know if it was the water that it went into or a bush, but other than that, you can see he was hot, he was sweating, he had back sweat on his shirt. Some people are saying that while it was uncalled for, they said the rapper had every right to do so. The fan was intruding on his personal space. Taking to Twitter, Bad Bunny shared a statement regarding the matter. It was in Spanish, but here it is. I will read it for you all. It says, "The people who came up to me to say hello, to tell me something, or just to meet me will always receive my attention and respect. Those who come to put an effing phone in my face, I will consider it for what it is, a lack of respect, and I will treat it likewise." So I'm sorry, but y'all gonna have to hate me. I found no problem with what Benito did. To me, it was just like, what you don't do is, okay, so I get it. The moment you walk out of your house as a celebrity, I guess you belong to the people. You have to be on at all times, I guess. However, that was the old way. I think now people need to respect that celebrities at the end of the day are human. They need their space, and you don't have a right to invade this. Number one, I will file my goddamn security because a fan should not have been able to get that close to him and shove a phone in their face. Number two, okay, as if I was in Bad Bunny's situation and I was walking with that security and you managed to get through, if you want a photo, if you want something where you want to get like a selfie or an autograph, whatever the case is, ask me. If I would say no, I'm like, just won't be a little bit. We'll have a conversation. Like, there could be ways that we can talk it around, but you do not have a right to just shove a phone in someone's face because, oh my God, I'm so excited, Bad Bunny's there. So I'm just gonna run up to you, shove a phone in your face, and you're just supposed to take it because you're a celebrity. That's where y'all got it all kind of effed up. Now, that celebrity's supposed to just lay down and just take whatever y'all throw at them because they're famous. But you have a right, anybody, whether you're famous or not, to protect your personal space and to protect your energy because you don't know what his level, his energy was on. You don't know what he was dealing with or going with. Well, maybe he should have stayed home. How you gonna tell somebody what they need to be doing or where they should have did this, that, and the third? How about you don't shove a phone in my face? It's intrusive. But like I said, the security should have been fired because no fan should be allowed to come through and get up on top of me like that. Like, what are you doing? And I know cell phones is expensive. iPhones is not cheap, child. I just got me a new damn iPhone and that shit was not cheap. That was like a couple of months ago. So we're good for now. Speaking of which, I did pay my phone bill today. Automatic payment, child. So there was that. So Benito, in the future, have tighter security. And look, he gives enough of his stuff to the people. Like, was it not enough that he was just in Puerto Rico dancing? I mean, not dancing, but he did a full-on concert at a gas station in Puerto Rico. That's not enough for y'all? But it's like, it just feels like that with a lot of these celebrities. You give an inch, they want a mile. They want all of you. They want to consume all of you. But you don't have a right to all of me. I give you what I give you, but I want to give you. But that was a good, and I believe it was a free concert too. So the man goes above and beyond, but the whole talking about cancel Bad Bunny, he needs to go, his career is over. Like, I saw those stupid hashtags all over Twitter. Bad Bunny ain't going no damn well. Child, he about to be at the Grammys. So shout out to you. Now, before we go, I do want to give a huge congratulations, not a drag queen, but a huge congratulations to actor Noah Schnapp, who fans of the show Stranger Things had always had some sort of inclination that his character Will Byers is gay. Well, the actor that plays Will Byers just came out as gay on TikTok. So congratulations to him on that. So now the video posted to his TikTok account on Thursday, the 18-year-old actor wrote, "When I finally told my friends and family I was gay after being scared in the closet for 18 years, and all they said was, 'We know.'" This was over Schnapp lip syncing to an audio clip from a different TikTok of someone saying, "You know what it never was? That serious. It never was that serious. Quite frankly, would never be that serious." Now, in the caption of this TikTok video, Schnapp wrote, "I guess I'm more familiar with Will than I thought." Now, July followed the debut of the final 2 episodes of the 4th season of Stranger Things. Remember that we had that episode where it was just like, Will basically told Mike that he was in love with him without telling him he was in love with him. And I remember there was a conversation that I think it was on Beatface, and Lindsay was having a conversation with Angel, who also does drag and stuff. So they were having this conversation, and Angel was a guest on Beatface, and he was talking about how he was upset because he felt like the last season kind of danced around his coming out and didn't let him come out. They kind of didn't, they implied it, but they wouldn't like fully let him be this gay character. But I was like, you have to realize the times in which this show takes place. It takes place in the 80s. A lot of people, yeah, they were gay, but they weren't coming out like that. Not when you had the AIDS Holocaust going on. With a lot of people with AIDS, because it wasn't even HIV, it was the full blown. You know, AIDS was crazy back in them days. So people were dying of AIDS. You had a president that refused to even mention the word, even down to his friend Rock Hudson having the disease. But the way that he treated the AIDS community back in those days, but it was particularly gay people that they were doing it to, because it was looked at that time as a gay man's disease. So people need to kind of look at it. You have to think of it in the context. You cannot put a Gen Z or millennial sort of mindset on a show that takes place at a time when the show, I believe, takes place in the Midwest. I don't know, man, if there were, correct me if I'm wrong, of those of you watching, in the 80s, I don't think there were a lot of gay men coming out in the Midwest and declaring the love for their friend or whatever the case was. So all these things where you're seeing a lot more gay people being open and honest about who they are on a lot of these TV shows, that was not happening in those days. We weren't even getting a lot of good, real gay representation in the 90s and the 2000s in media or anywhere. So this is all relatively new. So to me, where it's like they were saying like they wanted that, so I pretty much explained that and then they understood. But for the most part, it's like in those days it wasn't like that. Now, and also to the people out there, we already knew. We knew he was gay. You ain't had to tell us. It's obvious. Can y'all not do that? First of all, the boy is 18. He just became an adult. So let him finally live his truth. And just because you have a feeling that someone is actually gay when you look at them and they finally come out, the worst thing you could do is, I know, we know already. It comes across as this very pompous. It comes across as like, well, damn, you was a real obvious queen. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being an obvious queen. We got enough of them. I'd rather an obvious queen than somebody who is straight, who looks straight on the exterior, very straight acting, but y'all out here deceiving people. Gotta be yourself. So I'm glad he came out at 18, very young, where he doesn't have to worry about, you know what, I'm just gonna continue to hide in the closet so I can get roles. But then also I had this theory. I was like, what if he's trying to force the Duffer Brothers' hand for season 5? Because, you know, remember when you had Ellen Page, when she transitioned to Elliot Page, and when they brought him back for the new season of the show that he was doing over on Netflix, the first episode you were a girl, then the second episode you were giving Elliot. So, let's say I froze. I look, is everything fine now? Hopefully I didn't freeze. But anyway, so I say all that to say, congratulations to you, Noah. Continue to live your truth. Hopefully you'll be able to get a lot more roles after Stranger Things, because we still got season 5 coming. Don't know when they're gonna start filming it, but like I said before, I do wonder if they're trying to force the hand to find out, like, if let's make Will gay for real, or y'all can set it somewhere. You know what? Why don't y'all set it? Because at this point, they all look like they're in college any damn way. Set it in college. Have Will sow his wild oats, because usually when you go to college is when you go. You start exploring with your sexuality and stuff. So if they want to kind of do that and put it in a different setting, I'll be here for it. But anyway, so thank you all for watching this episode of The Rundown. Almost like how show I was doing. Tune in next time for a brand new episode. Remember to click like and subscribe. Definitely tell your friends. And until next time, ciao, darling. Okay.